Welcome back to the Infinite Rabbit Hole. I am Jeremy. I am your host, and today I would like to say thank you for listening in to the entire season of Season 4 and getting to know your hosts and all of our love of the strange and the unknown. But today we're going to do something a little different. We're not going to just cover a normal topic that we would normally cover here in the Infinite Rabbit Hole. We're going to sit back and we're just going to chat today. We're going to cover our thoughts for Season 4, and we're going to dive into some of the questions and comments and reviews from the listeners. We're going to introduce you guys to the brand new host coming up for Season 5. We're just going to talk. We're going to have fun. This is different. The reality of it is that this show really takes a lot of research when it comes to the topics that we cover. And it's a lot to prepare for. So right now we're sitting in the middle of Season 4 and Season 5. So instead of giving you something else that we're doing research on, we don't have any guests lined up for this little section here. We're going to just present you guys with something so that we're not just leaving you hanging in between the seasons like we are normally doing. We normally take 3 weeks off between seasons, and you guys don't get any content then. So to make sure that you guys have something for your ear holes, we're just going to talk. So before we get into all of the fun stuff that we have ready for tonight, let's go ahead and introduce our host of Season 4, Jake. That is one of the hosts. Jake, how you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing good. Yesterday, because I think I told you guys that I had that pipe burst in the office wall. Yesterday, they fixed the drywall. And tomorrow they're fixing the carpet. So tomorrow afternoon, I will be rebuilding and resetting up the office. So I'll have my soundproof space again. So I won't have to worry about the kids next door screaming through the kitchen window as I'm trying to record and dogs barking in the backyard and stuff. So I'm super stoked for that. But yeah, nothing much else going on. Rebuilding the bike and painting's almost done and just kind of putting along.
Nice. Good, dude. All right, and then no longer the new guy, because we have a new host. We can't call him the new guy anymore. For now on, we're going to refer to him as Old New Guy Jeff. Old New Guy Jeff, how you doing, man?
What's up, everybody? I'm doing pretty good. Living the dream, no longer the new guy. I'm feeling like I just got promoted in some kind of way. I'm going to need a bigger salary. Thank you.
What's going up from 0 but still staying under 0?
Well, a bigger salary than 0 would be fine. Thank you. Thank you.
We will pay you in gold stars.
Okay. I'll take it.
Yep.
I was just going to say we can give him a shout out on every episode.
Ooh.
And then there's Jeff. Everybody applause for Jeff. There we go.
I like it. That's good. That's
all right.
All right, that's better than gold stars. Yeah.
That's what we
I still want the gold stars.
I don't know. You can have applause or stars.
Both.
I heard applause. All right, good.
Like I was saying, for those that are listening and expecting to listen to an episode that deep dive into a particular mystery in the world that we normally cover, tonight we're just going to do some BSing. We have Season 5 coming up, and although we normally take some time off between seasons and leave our listeners hanging with no new content for a few weeks, we thought it would be cool if we just did it a little bit different this time. We're going to talk about the entire season from our point of view and answer questions from you, the listeners. Before we do that, we have a very exciting announcement about the upcoming season. We are introducing all of you today to our newest co-host. This co-host will present our show with many firsts. She is our first part-time co-host, our first female co-host, and our first international co-host. Hailing from the icy tundra of the Western Canada, from the most famous area for Bigfoot research in the world, I am happy and proud. I am happy and proud to announce our newest co-host for Season 5, Kenzar. Kenzar, welcome, and thank you for joining the ranks of the guides of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Now everyone applause for Kenzar.
Hey. Hello. Thank you. Hello. Hi, guys.
Man, that is the craziest Finnish accent I've ever heard.
Isn't it?
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello.
Are you ready? You excited?
I'm stoked. A little
Yeah?
nervous because I'm not used to this, but I'm getting there. Bear with me here.
You're good. You're good. We're going to start off this episode by just talking about Kenzar, introducing you to the new voice behind the Infinite Rabbit Hole, and kind of giving you a little background about Kenzar herself. Kenzar, while we're on the topic of you, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what kind of interests you're going to bring to the show?
Well, I actually had to really think about this question. Because I like a little bit of everything and anything. So that's kind of why I got into this podcast in the first place, because you guys talk about a little bit of everything and anything. So when I actually sat down and thought about this question, though, I realized that as a kid, I got really into the pop culture stuff, and I got really into history and like artifacts and stuff like that. So I'm really hoping that I can bring a little bit more of a pop culture aspect to the show. And of course, I'm from Canada.
Yeah.
Canada is a cool place. I bring a different perspective just because Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part-time co-host. Do you want to explain kind of what that means and how you feel about that title?
Well, as of right now, I'm really like the title of part-time because I just started a new job, so I'm kind of in the middle of a transition stage. So I'm trying to learn all this podcast stuff and how I'm going to incorporate it in my life. I'm really excited about podcasting, actually. I was thinking about doing this for a little bit before you guys invited me on. So this is, it was just an awesome opportunity for me. So I decided, why not? Let's jump on this.
Everyone who's familiar with the show knows who Kenzar is. She was our very first guest host from a fan standpoint, somebody that we don't know personally, and that's not from another podcast. So basically what happened was Kenzar sent us an email basically just telling us how great we are and how amazing and awesome and everything like that.
Yeah. I agreed with all aspects of it. I'm like, gosh, we are amazing, you know?
We just sent it out. We're like, come on to a show. We just be a part of it. And she said yes.
I almost cried from that email. Almost got me.
Not gonna lie, I kind of choked up too.
Yep.
I was like fangirling really hard when you guys emailed me back. I was like, oh my gosh, no way. Like, what?
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I wasn't choking up because of how great we are. I mean, that's obvious, but it was because of the content of it, which I won't share here. But yeah, it was our pleasure to reach out to you and to hit you up and stuff. And it was so cool having you on here for the Wendigo episode, which
that was lots of fun.
Yeah, it was super stoked.
I had lots of fun with that.
Good. And it's, a lot of people, I don't know if they're hesitant to reach out. We've had a couple people reach out and just, say hey and ask us a question here and there and, be answered and so on. There's a couple people that have actually even started podcasts because of our show. Who, at least they claim that it was because they love our show.
Idiots can do it, then I can do it too.
That's literally what I told them. I was like, listen, if we can do it, then anybody can do this. Super, super easy. But yeah, so, we're totally approachable. We have a good time on the Facebook group chat. Anyways, Kenzar, how do you feel about presenting your very first topic to the travelers into the Infinite Rabbit Hole?
I'm really excited about it, but I'm really nervous about it all at the same time. I was actually working on it not too long before we started recording here. I've been getting really into it. I've got quite the presentation going on right now. I'm super stoked about it. I'm just fine tweaking little things here and there. But I'm really nervous because I feel like I have to set a certain standard, but at the same time, it'll be my very first time ever presenting something like that for this podcast. So I feel like I have a little bit of leeway, but I'm also holding myself up to fairly high standards for this. I'm really nervous about it, actually.
Just got to think about it like a school presentation, except you get a lot more haters.
Yeah, I wasn't good at those
Does that
either.
feel better? Make you feel better?
I come from a family of performers. Everybody loved to be on stage, except for me. I would rather be behind the scenes. So this is this is very out there for me, so I'm very nervous about that part. I have a little bit of stage fright about it, but that's pretty much it. I'm super excited to get going in it though, and be a part of all of this and get this experience.
Well, I already know what the topic is, and I think you're going to do great, but I cannot wait to tear it apart.
You're part of what's making me so nervous because you keep
man,
saying that.
I'm going to ask you such tough questions like, but why?
Oh my gosh.
How?
The age-old question.
How is that possible? Yeah. Why?
If it makes you feel any better, Kenzar, I was super nervous when I did my first 10 episodes. I was all pasty and nervous, nervous sweats about it. But honestly, it comes super naturally after a while. So once you get into the groove, it'll be good.
Oh, dude, me and Jeremy's first 10 episodes, I'm glad that Jeremy pulled them because, I mean, we sound like idiots that never talked on the phone before. It was awful. We were talking asking questions as if we expected the audience to answer them. It was terrible. We weren't just talking to each other like we are now, we're just talking to each other and then kind of addressing the listeners and they'll, listen to it. But we were talking to each other yeah, what are the listeners want to talk about next? And then waiting for 5 minutes to hear what they'd say. It was awful.
It's a quiet crowd tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bad. It's bad. But yeah, so kind of a little bit more background on the decision to bring on another host. We thought it would be really cool, one, to include our very first, I would call her one of our very first, super fans, man, where, she's the first person to reach out to us and everything. We just wanted to make sure she understood that we may be presenting this podcast to you, right? And it's a form of entertainment and, it does whatever it does for whoever listens to it. But the fact that she was the first person to reach out to us and say, thank you for what you do, I can't tell you how much it meant. So I really wanted to make sure that you felt special and that everything went really good on the Wendigo episode, and it just made sense. So the part-time thing kind of came up, and I was like, that fits really well because we do have good episodes when we have 4 people on, right? Mm-hmm. We have the 3 hosts and usually sometimes a guest, and it goes good. Jeff doesn't talk because it's not his stuff, but so it's usually just Jake and I. And it works. The reason why we created the part-time title is because during episodes that we have guests or anything like that, where a 5th voice might just be a little bit too much, she's going to step out. So she's not going to be in every episode next season. She is going to be in most of the episodes. So the episodes where we don't have a guest and we're just presenting, and we're also allowing her the chance to get more comfortable with the whole podcasting for the first time thing, by giving her one topic in the middle of the season, and she's going to be a reactor to all the other stuff. So it's kind of like baby steps, but at the same time, it also allows for her to live her life like she was explaining before and adjust everything to the new schedule before she comes on full time for season 6.
And we put her to work and make her the editor. See, all the other listeners, if you guys want to reach out to us, come on, we'll make you a co-host. Let's go.
we have a habit of making people into co-hosts, so it's
1 for 1. Let's make this 10.
It's not far-fetched, but if you're on the Facebook group, the Infinite Rabbit Hole Facebook group, not the page, so if you're on the group with the black logo, not the page with the white logo, Kenzar, she's posted a lot of stuff, and she's a friendly face and always loves to share really cool stuff. Like this morning, you got to understand we're recording this on February 22nd, so this morning she was like a little comic strip of
it was a little, it's called Cryptids Cartoons or something like that, and it was the siren head and then a mermaid siren and then a little ad that said siren looking for siren. Cute little cartoon comic.
awkward. Yeah,
Definitely.
So she's very active. Head on over to the Infinite Rabbit Hole group. Again, that's the one with the black logo, where we're much more conversational over there. The page is more just for announcements and stuff like that. If you want to stay up to date with all the news and stuff going on with the Infinite Rabbit Hole, go ahead and join the page with the white logo. But if you want to be a part of the conversation, make sure you head on over to the group on Facebook with the black logo, and that's where we're going to post all like articles and some really cool stuff, and get to know Kenzar, our new host, and also get to know Jake, Jeff, and I. We're very active over there. It's a lot of fun. It's growing. Jeez, it grew quick. And as we'll get into later, it's also very entertaining sometimes. but we'll get into that later. So does anybody have anything else Kenzar related before we move on?
No, but I was told to tell everybody that today is Tuesday, because it's Tuesday and it's also 2/22/2022.
Ooh.
Dang.
It's like the last time in our lifetimes it'll be 6 digits in a row, something like that.
That's crazy. I knew it was 2, like 22222, but I didn't put together that it was also Tuesday. That's pretty nuts.
Get wrecked.
You know what that means?
Yeah, big socks.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. I mean, it's not that incredible, because the beginning of the week is actually on Sunday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's the third. Third day. So better luck next century.
Maybe. So let's move on to the Q&A. The other day, I posted on our Facebook group asking for anyone's questions or comments about the show for us to read and answer on today's episode. We got a few bites, but mostly it was just our old co-host CJ being CJ. But no worries, we'll answer his questions too. But before we jump into CJ's questions, we're going to do the real ones first, and then we'll do CJ.
Wow.
Hey, you know what? It goes along with what he asks, and it works. Okay,
fair enough.
So deal with it. All right. So question number 1 and question number 2 all come from the same podcast. The cast members of the Burning Veil podcast asked 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
1, what was one topic you all agreed to scrap and not do an episode on? Who wants to answer that? I know
I'll
one
answer
right off of that. Go ahead.
Valiant Thor.
Yep.
That's not the one I was thinking of.
Oh, really?
I thought of 2.
What'd you think of, Kenzar?
I first thought of Salem witch trials.
That was the one I thought of. So for everyone listening, is like, how does she know that? Well, because we have actually had a group chat with our number 1 fan, Kenzar, for a very long time. And we talk with her every day.
Mm-hmm.
And, we shared the lineup for season 4 and everything.
And fire memes.
Awesome memes and stuff. Yeah. And we actually we shared the entire lineup, and we actually were going to have her choose another episode, but the lineup for the episodes of Infinite Rabbit Hole is dynamic. So things happen and it gets changed. I think we're already going to make a change in season 5 already, depending on how serious Jeff is, which I really hope he is.
You know what's funny?
What?
Correct me if I'm wrong. The reason why we scrapped the Salem witch trials wasn't necessarily because it was overdone, which it certainly is. A lot of the topics we do are done by other podcasts that are kind of grouped around with us. But because it was more of a history sort of a thing, it was supposed to come out on Halloween. So we scrapped it because it was like, this isn't really like, Infinite Rabbit Hole type. This is more like of a historical event that actually happened. But then we added in Krampus, which of course has its own cryptid element, but is mostly just a historical sort of like, it's lore, but it's like a historical sort of like festival that happened and still happens in parts of the world. And it's just like, okay, so
yeah.
It was more on the lore side, right? We added some other stuff, but it was just like, it's kind of the same thing. But there was more meat to it, I think.
There definitely was. So you're absolutely correct. We scrapped it because it was just felt like it was history class.
Mm-hmm.
We dived into, or I started doing research into like the specific, people who were being tried and everything, and there wasn't necessarily any like questions about it. It's history. You know,
Mhm.
it happened. There's not a lot of mystery behind it. I wasn't really finding anything that we can speculate on. It would have just been like, yeah, that's true. And then
A
that's
whole
it.
bunch of people did some really messed up stuff to some other people.
Right.
Yeah.
But with Krampus, I was able to find stuff that was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas like the Salem witch trials, we wouldn't have had that wow factor of like, oh, that's really freaking cool. I never knew that. I think it's because the Salem witch trials happened here in the US and Krampus happens, you know, on another part of the world where we're not so familiar with the traditions and all of that. So when we hear some of that really cool stuff that goes on, there is that wow factor. And how deep the story and everything goes, I think was very interesting. I see a huge difference between the two topics, but yeah,
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's more. I mean, it's from a different area, so it's already more interesting, which is great that we have Kenzar. She can bring stuff from Canada, which is, you know, I don't know if people know this, but Canada is a different country than the U.S. But also, a lot of these countries, you know, we really should explore more countries' lore and legends and cryptids and stuff, because a lot of these countries have been established for a very, very long time. Maybe it hasn't been the same exact, you know, country name, but the land has been owned by a particular group of people for like 1,000 years, 500 years, versus us, which is a measly couple hundred, and all of our old buildings were ripped down and turned into malls, you know. So it's just like, ugh.
I would definitely love to dive into some stuff from other countries. In fact, for season 6, I'm kind of pondering something. I'm not going to talk about it right now because I don't want to ruin anything.
Well,
but
this is going into season 5. Come on now, don't be letting too much out of the bag.
Right, exactly. Exactly. There's 2 answers: Valiant Thor and
Do we
Salem
want
Witch
to
Trials.
talk about why we scrapped Valiant Thor, or just move on?
You want to talk about it, Jeff?
We actually did Valiant Thor. I did a presentation on it, and then I just wasn't happy with it. It was a mixture of things. The vibe wasn't right for me, and then it just turned out to not be like the greatest episode. So we decided to just scrap it. But I think we talked about possibly doing it in the future better. So
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to be doing a Valiant Thor episode in the future, because while I was doing the research for Injured Cold, I actually found some stuff on Valiant Thor that I specifically did not include in the Injured Cold stuff.
you didn't include something in Injured Cold? That's amazing.
Yeah,
Considering it was
absolutely.
4,000 pages.
He said he cut quite a few pages out, but then
I did.
Asher's said, I think it was Asher's that said, I think in episode 2, that there was a connection between Valiant Thor or a supposed connection between Valiant Thor and Injured Cold.
I think it was Gray Barker and that asshole editor
Ah, yes.
that brought it up, and she had talked about how those guys were kind of D-bags.
No, I remember that part. I mean, yeah, we're talking about that, and I was like, well, why didn't that come out in the very first talking point? Because, you know, and I went on this big long spiel, and then it was like cut off because you're like, oh, well, that's just made up. That's just a lie. But I think there was some reference to it in the beginning, that there might have been at least some sort of a relation between the two, that he was a Venetian or something like that. I don't know. In any case, I can see that there could be a pretty decent crossover, which could add a lot more and make that episode a lot more beefier and definitely more entertaining for a future release.
I definitely think that the Injured Cold series that we did will be a very good starting point to anybody that is interested in the Valiant Thor topic. And once we do it, I'm definitely going to refer to that series. You know, anybody listening to it can get a nice side story to Valiant Thor through Injured Cold, because it's going to be very similar, except for Valiant Thor is more government. Like, he was very active within the government, but we'll get into that later. Does anybody else have any other answers for that?
Nope.
The Burning Veil podcast also asks, what was an episode you all hated to do but did it anyways?
Yep, I got mine.
Go ahead.
Fresno Nightcrawler. Listen, all right. I took so long to do the research for that because it was so difficult to get into the groove to do the research for that because I hated the topic so much. But like I said, it in that episode that you said, well, I gave you the choice and you wanted to do it. And I said, I compared it to someone who's just like, you want to be my best friend? And I say, no. You say, you want to be my best friend? I say, no, it's all right. I already have a bunch of best friends. And you keep going and keep going and keep going until finally I'm like, fine, I'll be your best friend. You're like, see, I knew it. I knew you want to be my best friend. So, so I was like, finally, all right, I just got to get it out there. I just got to get it done. And the entire time I was like, this is so ridiculous. I'm doing the research. I'm not enjoying it. I'm like, I just want to scrap it and just pick something else, anything that could have like some validity to it whatsoever. And then, and then it became a obsession of I have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is completely fake. So that's where my attention went when I was doing the research for that episode. That's why I destroyed it like I did in the very end. And I allowed for that discussion and stuff versus pulling a Jeff and just destroying it in the first couple sentences of the intro. Just being like, I can't help it. I have to do this. Press the red button. But so that was the whole thing, because for me, it's like there's a lot of cryptids out there where there's no pictures of them, and all it is hearsay and reports of people seeing something. And those have more validity than something like the Fresno Nightcrawler, where there is photographic and video evidence of the thing they're talking about, and it's the fakest thing you could ever imagine. And it's just like, well, that wraps it up for that. Like, there's a level of mystery with something that is never seen or never photographed and never taped or whatever. But when you bring in like a photographic or video evidence of that and it's complete trash, it just destroys the whole thing. And it's like, man. Plus, it wasn't consistent between the 3 or 4 different videos of the Fresno Nightcrawler cryptid. They're completely inconsistent amongst the group. Like, these ones have heads and these ones don't. This one looks like a sheet and this one looks like a robot. It's just like it was just I did not want to do that episode, but at the same time I wanted to get it out of the way and just get it knocked out. And also I still had to provide something that people would be willing to listen to and not be wasting people's times. Even if it's verifiably false, it's still funny and interesting, And so I was just like, well, I still have to do a good job. I still have to do my research. I still have to do all this sort of stuff in a way that is not going to be wasting people's time, because I'm not about that, even if I think that the topic is stupid, But yeah, that was my one. As soon as I saw that question come up on the Facebook, I was just like, yep. Like, that's it.
Jeff, do you have an answer?
For me, honestly, I think the one that just I didn't vibe the hardest with was probably the Ritual review, just because that movie
it was pretty hokey.
It was, it started good and then like it just got really bad at the end, and I just wasn't like super stoked about it. But also, like, I'm not the cryptid guy, as everybody knows. So when we do the cryptid episodes, it's not that it's not interesting to me. It's just like I don't have much to throw out. Like when you did the Thunderbird, like there wasn't really much that I had. I was kind of looking things up as you were talking about things. So I haven't. When we do those cryptid episodes, I'm usually formulating my opinion like as we're doing the episode rather than beforehand. But the Ritual was probably the one where I was like, fuck this movie.
Did you see Antlers?
I don't think I might have. I don't think
you should.
It just came out a couple months ago. Antlers was actually pretty dang good.
I feel like maybe I started it, but I didn't finish it. I think I fell asleep or something.
It's not a movie where you're going to go in and get all the correct lore when it comes to the Wendigo.
No.
But just from the aspect of it being a creature feature, it's pretty cool. Not bad. They have some pretty good jump scares in there, and the creature's cool. It's not a Wendigo, but it's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I could not agree more, Jeff, about the Ritual review. that was something that we tried. We tried to do a movie review. We've had a couple people bring up the idea of doing movie reviews, and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work. I also agree. I didn't have a good time doing it. Although I do like the movie, The Ritual. I think it's a great movie. I think the creature is awesome.
Oh, yes, man, over here.
I think we also didn't we do 2 episodes that night? Wasn't that like the second of 2 that we did that night?
Oh, maybe.
I did 2, so I think it was partially that too. So I was like already like over it. You know, I was ready to go to bed. But
I can see that. Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
Saying I love you, man.
Didn't you read your story that episode too?
That's what it was. You read your story.
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
The story was good.
I laughed at the splat part.
Yes. The wet splat.
Oh man, that was hilarious. I laughed both times he read it to me, except for that other time where I fell asleep.
Except for that time, yeah. So I haven't worked on it in quite a while, but I am writing what I'm calling a book, but basically what I'm going to turn into a fictional story-driven podcast that's a spin-off of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. And I read the prologue for it, and yeah, that's it.
Is it called Finite Gopher Hole?
No. I think the running name we're going with it is Tales from the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Just, you know,
that's not
whatever.
creative.
It should be Infinite Rabbit Tales.
Ooh.
Or
there you go.
And then for the
rabbit holes.
Orifices.
That's right.
And then Infinite Rabbit Tales, and we'll just have a whole bunch of rabbit butts as our logo.
Oh, dude, so many.
How about
butts.
you name it the Jeremy Experience?
That's so dumb. Anyways, haven't worked on that in a very long time because of how much time and effort that goes into this podcast. But with my downtime, I'll dive back into it for a little bit.
Dude, we're gonna do that thing up so well. So the intro for Krampus, right? So Jeremy recorded all the voices for that, with the exception of his wife, did the voice of the kid. And then he sent that to me, and I was just supposed to put some I do the intro and the outro for every episode, and then some music that goes along with the intro, and do all the fade outs and like the hard push and the drop when he says "Welcome back to Infinite Rabbit Hole," all that stuff. I really enjoy it. But for that one, I just had this reel running in my head. I'm like, I could do this thing up really well. And so I just sat down at the computer and I started playing around with it. And I got it pretty much to where as if you were watching a movie, but just closed your eyes. Right. And so that's what I was going for that. And so I sent it to him, and he's just like, I'm so stoked for this book coming out, because like if we could get those sort of sound effects inside of the audio reading or something like that, or like when they're in the woods or whatever, and you hear faint crickets like chirping or something like that, and then the monster steps in and then they stop, like we could really do this book up pretty well. So hopefully when we do end up putting it out, if that's a direction we go in, that is, and that's entirely up to Jeremy, because he's putting all the work into writing this, hopefully it'll be something that the listeners will really be engaged with and be able to like really latch on to, because not only will it be a cool story, but a cool audio experience as well. But all that takes a tremendous amount of work. Like just the intro for Krampus in itself, that 3-minute long intro, I think took me 5 hours to kind of work out all the kinks and figure out all the sounds and where to place them and everything like that. It took a pretty long time.
Yeah, so we have no announcements for that at all. So maybe around this time next year we might have a couple chapters done. But yeah, no worries there. Don't expect that anytime soon. I actually had almost zero feedback from that.
Nice.
So I'm glad everyone liked it. All right, so before we move on to question 3, I'd just like to say thank you to the Burning Veil cast members. Gideon and I have talked a few times. He's been following our show and our good friends over at the Talking with Shadows podcast for quite a while, and is a brand new podcaster with some stories that I think our listeners would be interested in as well. So make sure to head over to their podcast and give them a listen. Our third question comes from a huge fan of ours, Danny.
Danny. Jeff, get in on this. Danny. Kenzar, one for you.
Danny.
I'll get a little bit more into Danny here in a minute. awesome guy. He asks, what made you get involved in doing the podcast on so many different topics? I know Jeremy had a
Boredom.
Bigfoot experience. I know Jeremy had a Bigfoot experience, but were there more? Something from the paranormal experience or just a love for the subject in general? You know, I got into the strange and the unknown because I saw something that I wasn't supposed to see, or am told now that this is something that doesn't exist. So my interest basically comes from, well, if I saw something, you know, all this other stuff that's being talked about, there might be some other stuff out there too. So that's just me. Then let's go ahead and toss that up to you guys. How'd you guys get into this whole topic?
Well, I've been a conspiracy theorist for basically my entire life, and I have my own show. I don't know if anybody doesn't know that already by now, but it's a conspiracy podcast, and Jeremy had me on for a guest episode, Project Bluebeam, and that went pretty well. And then he hit me up one day and asked if I wanted to join. So I was like, fuck yeah.
And don't be afraid to name your podcast, man. You're more than welcome to.
Shadow Band Podcast.
Oh,
There you
we're
go.
all going to get viruses on our computers now.
Yeah, we're all red flagged. Just because you guys associate with me, you're definitely on the Clinton hit list. Don't worry.
What about you, Jake?
Yeah, I've seen some stuff, things that I will literally never talk about on this podcast because they're for me and they're not for entertainment of any sort. But had my own fair share of experiences. Never seen a Bigfoot before. I'd absolutely share that on here. I saw a footprint when I was camping last, but that's about it. Unless someone's listening to this for their very first episode, everyone knows, because I probably say on every episode, that I'm a Christian. And for me, the idea of cryptozoology, I'm loosely going to say aliens on this because I don't believe in any of that stuff, but cryptozoology for sure, strange natural phenomena for sure. All that stuff for me is just a statement to how great God is. Like, if there is a Sasquatch roaming around out there, it's just another one of the wacky animals that we have on this planet. And for me, you know, when I look into these sorts of things, I mean, because it is mostly just entertainment value, right? But when I look into this sort of stuff, it really draws me closer to my faith in God, because I am just at awe and amazement by the way that things work and the way that things are set up and how intricate it is. And like, even if we're talking about like a Thunderbird and all that sort of stuff, I mean, it's the entertainment value that is there. It's fun to talk about. It's, you know, something to kind of break away from the mundane and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, I look at this monstrous, you know, carnivorous bird, and I'm just like, man, what an awesome God that made this at some point for whatever role it served in that point that it was alive. You know, just digging into that, it just strengthens that relationship and that faith that I have. So for me, it's not so much because I believe all the stuff that we're talking about, or that it's entirely and strictly entertainment value, but it's a mixture of a lot of different things. But now I don't know. Besides that, I'm kind of a jokester, and I like entertaining people too. I like helping people to kind of break away from everything. And with all the craziness that's been going on in the world for the last couple of years, it seems more important than ever to, you know, give people a good outlet for escapism, you know, versus other things that are out there. I think that we provide a service to people, and if they can break away from the day-to-day and all the hysteria and you know, what's the word that I heard recently that I really like, fear porn that's out there, if they can break away from all that for an hour or two to listen to us kind of, you know, make them laugh by cracking jokes and ragging on each other and talking about some cryptid or something like that, or doing a deep dive on something, then fantastic, because there needs to be a lot less of that craziness and a lot more with people just, you know, hanging out. I think that people are, you know, I felt it too, you know, some some crazy anxiety and stuff over the last, couple of years, and it's just like, man, we need less of that. So I think that we're providing a pretty decent service to people, and so there's a lot of things that keep me engaged with this podcast, even if it means doing a topic that I really don't want to do, like the Frozen Nightcrawler, Yeah.
Hey everybody, bear with us while we take this quick break. What about you, Kenzar?
I don't have any cool experiences or anything myself. But I've always had a thing for mystery, and I love asking questions. I love asking why. Why is this the way it is? Why is that going on? I want to know all the answers. Am I going to get all the answers? No, but doesn't stop me from trying. So that's why I got into, or part of the reason why I got into all this stuff. I love the mystery behind all of it. I love the discoveries. I like cryptids a lot because I can actually go out and try and find one.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about cryptids for me. And I live in British Columbia. I live probably an hour or so away from Sasquatch Provincial Park. Nice. Which is very well known for sightings. So I'm really excited. I'm going to go Sasquatch hunting this summer, and I'm going to go find my own and finally get my own experience.
Nice.
I'm
nice.
Stoked about it. But yeah, it's the mystery that attracts me about all of this stuff, and it's the unknown. I just want to know. I want to figure it out. It's a puzzle.
Cool. Well, before we move into the next topic for the night, I want to give Danny a huge shout out.
Danny.
He's been a huge supporter of our show and was a new listener of podcasts in general. I think he was listening for like 4 months or something before he found us. And he began a very impressive binge of our show on December 18th. Danny tagged our Twitter page for the first time in one of his posts saying that he was beginning his 3rd episode of our show and that he has enjoyed what he has heard so far. Then, yesterday, on the 21st of February, he tweeted that he has finally caught up just 2 months and 3 days later. Danny posted a very nice, short, Twitter-friendly review for every episode after he listened and never had a bad thing to say. 70 episodes Danny has listened to in all that time frame, all while checking out a few other podcasts while he commutes to and from work for a few hours every day. I, for one, am very happy to have been able to provide some content and entertainment for him and all of the other listeners for their commutes. It honestly means more than I can ever explain. So, thank you, Danny.
Dude, that's a great guy. And he bought a t-shirt.
And he bought a t-shirt, yeah.
Dude, best podcast ever.
Danny!
Danny!
Dude, we gotta have him on.
I will definitely touch base with him. I think we should definitely have
Danny. You want
to be a host, Danny?
Oh,
that's good. We're gonna invite him on just to chit chat and be like, all right, so what topic are you bringing to us? Let's go.
So, real quick, I have a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite topic that you didn't present this season?
I did so many of them,
Probably. Well, does regional Bigfoot count?
Yeah, that was the first one.
Because we all presented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Regional Bigfoot, love it.
Probably either that or Kelly Green, man.
American Bigfoot.
Kelly Green was cool. I also was a big fan. What about you, Kenzar?
I don't know. I like them all, but honestly, if I had to pick one, it was weather mods.
Yeah. Ooh.
That episode came out right around the time that my city underwent a lot of flooding. The entire city was underwater. So I'm not used to that kind of flooding. I'm from Alberta originally, so I've never dealt with anything like that. So I'm panicking on the inside, and then Jeff goes and presents this weather modifications episode. It made me super uncomfortable, and I loved it. I'm becoming very comfortable with being uncomfortable now, and I like it, actually.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jeff.
Mine was also a Jeff topic. and that was Georgia Guidestones.
Dang.
I actually didn't know much about them at first. We had a really awesome, deep conversation on the episode itself, and I have gone on to research it myself a little bit, and I definitely would love to revisit the topic sometime in the future, especially after we actually all get together and go down there and check it out ourselves. I definitely think that we can revisit that, because that was a very, very cool mystery. I knew it existed, I just didn't know really anything about it.
You're welcome.
I have a toss-up between two different topics for two different reasons. One is Atlantis, because that one
You're
was,
welcome.
geez, the way that Jeff was just pulling that information out of his butt was crazy. Like he's pronouncing names of places that I would stutter over for 5 minutes. Like, it was crazy. He's like, "Oh yeah, go check out this place," and I'm like, "Okay," and it's literally like looking it up. I was like, "That's crazy, that's crazy, that's crazy." He really presented that topic really dang well, and so that one was really cool. That was I mean, I was doing what Jeff was just talking about. I was researching it while the episode was going on. Like, I've got my microphone on mute so I can, click away on my keyboard and look up these places that he's talking about, split screening with the with Zencaster, so I can make sure that I can just quickly switch over to being on mic so I can bounce back with some questions and all that sort of stuff. But it was just like, it was awesome. And then the other one was getting on Carter Bushart with his book, and that was, I maybe don't believe the idea of the mind-speaking Sasquatch, but reading through his book and then talking to him, I mean, he was just a wealth of knowledge, right? So I have tools that I can, the next time I go camping, I can look for certain things. He had a billion examples, like pictures in his book of, this is what tree structures look like. This is what, directional signs look like, territory signs look like, things like that I can look for myself. So just like what Kenzar was saying, I could go and have my own Bigfoot experience, because that is one cryptid that I truly believe it could exist. And the only thing that's keeping me out of the realm of does exist is having my own experience with it, right? So that one, and then he sent me his second book and he signed it, and it was just like, that was a very cool episode, or 2 episodes rather, of having him on, and just very, very interesting guy. And I really hope that we're able to connect with him in the future and have him back on for another one.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. I've actually already talked a little bit with him, and we have something. I don't know if it's going to be for season 5 yet, but because season 5 is already pretty jam-packed. But yeah, absolutely. So now moving on with the Infinite Rabbit Hole, the show where we just stroke Jeff's ego.
You're welcome.
For his first season, where he presented his own topics for the entire season, Jeff really knocked it out of the park. Just goes to show you that if you haven't jumped over to the Shadow Band podcast, where it's his own show where he does with his cousin Jade and her husband Creamer, you should. I mean, he really dives into the conspiracy theory stuff and everything. And, he gets, he really dives deep. But the guy's very intelligent, and his show reflects that as well. Not just the stuff he does here on Infinite Rabbit Hole.
Does this mean I get the gold stars too now?
Nope.
Well, we'll see.
One or the other.
Questions 5 and 6 come from our old co-host CJ. His first question is, what was your best roast of that asshole CJ last season? I think it just happened. I think it was when I said I was going to do it last. No, there's been a lot that we've roasted CJ on, but we still love you, man.
Gosh,
we still love you.
We should just roast him right now. I mean, I'm sure we can think of something. I mean, he's a giant nerd for one. I mean, it couldn't be that difficult.
Let's talk about that podcast he left our podcast to go do, and then failed at it, and now he doesn't podcast anymore.
Oh man, yeah, what a waste, man. We should tell him about that.
Dude, I love CJ. He's a great guy, and he's more than welcome to come back. I've talked to him, tried to get him to come back on. He's got stuff going on, so letting him take his time, and still love him, still love you, CJ.
Still love you, CJ. You're a CJ.
You're a CJ. Can't think of any particular times that we roasted him, but I know there's plenty. Jeff Kenzar, do you have any particular CJ roast that you love the most?
I just know I'm taking all CJ's heat now, so you're welcome.
Don't worry. We're reserving some of the tank for if he comes back, all right?
True. Very true.
We're just projecting our frustrations of CJ onto you, Jeff. And you take it gracefully. I'm very happy that you're able to take it so well.
I can't wait till he crawls back to us.
Comes crawling back
beautiful.
like I did,
Like you did. It'll be beautiful. What about you, Kenzar?
In particular, no, not off the top of my head. I can't think of any.
And then, of course, CJ has another awesome question. What cryptid do you think you can beat in a fair one? I'm guessing he's talking about a fight.
The Fresno Nightcrawler, I'd wear it like a pair of pants. Take that however you'd like. I mean it literally, but you run with it wherever direction you want to go.
That's funny.
What about you, Jeff? You gonna beat that swamp ape asset?
As long as he's not throwing live alligators at me, I could totally take him.
Oh, jeez, dude. What about you, Kenzar? Which cryptid do you think you can take?
None of them.
None?
None of them.
Not even the Fresno night pants?
Yeah. Not even the Fresno
How
pajama
do I
bottoms?
take something on that doesn't exist?
Well, it's a pair of
Ooh,
pajama
it's a-
bottoms.
it's a
Zinger.
cryptid. But, I mean, I'd be afraid that the sweatpants would be too hot. Like, I don't like being hot. Maybe I'd sweat to death or something.
I mean,
I don't know. It's scary.
I did offer for both of us, you and me, Jeremy, to go over to find the Jersey Devil with 44 Magnums. That offer is still on the table.
I'm not going, no, because I don't necessarily believe that the Jersey Devil is a thing, but that's like one cryptid that I would not, or urban legend. It's not something that I would ever want to see face to face. Not ever.
What about
Just
you,
the
Kenzo? Are you
description
down?
alone.
Jeremy's a big weenie.
Sure.
All
I'm
right,
down
cool.
to try anything once.
Let's do this.
Nah.
Expedition.
But if there's an owl, I'm out. That's my deal breaker.
Well, we might have to go up to a Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum then.
Okay.
That'll do it.
That just reminded me of that. Was it American Bigfoot or whatever? We were talking about the Bigfoot, and then we mentioned, I think we mentioned like hunting one, and that like it was off-putting, but maybe necessary. And then you mentioned Dogman, and I said shoot that thing with a bazooka. Like it's just like
I don't remember, but yeah,
go bazooka hunting for the Dogman. It was
maybe
standing
we'll
there.
do another special later and talk about how we would battle each cryptid. But all right, moving on. Thank you, CJ. You presented very deep questions. Let's go on and talk about some not so good comments that were left for us.
Man, we got ragged on.
Ooh.
Oh, we did.
This
I know where
weekend
this
was
is
great.
going.
Oh boy.
We get there. Don't worry.
Oh boy.
Before we end the show on a high note and read off the good reviews and comments from season 4, let's dive into the not so good comments. The first complaint comes from everyone's favorite troll. Did you tell Assassin?
Digital ass hat.
So we've talked at length before about our response to it, but we've never read the review on the show. So here it is. There's a lot of typos in here, so I'm going to do my best. Not worth anyone's time because these guys are a joke. They're LARPers, who, in case you don't know what LARPing is, it's live action role playing. It's where people gather and fight each other
Very
with
fun activity, I
sticks
might
and
add.
yeah. They're LARPers who also happen to be pogs in the Navy,
Mhm.
and they always reference that, even though it has no bearing on their experience or what their sorry, typos, talking about. So there's that fallacy regarding their authority. They wholeheartedly believe the government's narrative on most things, which makes me question them. They try to come off as truth investigators, but really they're controlled opposition who rattle a tin cup. Only those with nothing to offer act like you gotta go to some Patreon for real depth of information. If the info they have readily available is any indication as to what they have, then do yourself a favor and toss your money into the nearest fountain because you'll get more for your buck. That's it.
His amount of typos makes me question his literacy, thus I don't trust him.
Can I also read Digital Asshat's review on the Shadowban podcast?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, here it goes. All right, here it
Please.
goes. It says, updated again, LOL. Show went from a hard-hitting conspiracy show to a variety show for any new age grifter trying to plug their own show and peddle their feel-good chaff. Come for the first few episodes, stay for the woo and Star Wars metaphors. The community is not one that you change, it changes you. This show has gotten into the wrong circles, but the host is cool. But to be honest, and I really mean this, with what's going on in the world, there isn't room for feel good anymore. I mean, MSM and everything and every streaming service tries to anesthetize you to what's going on. The guy just needs to internalize that more. He was onto something, but he went for a variety. I hope he reels it back because he did a phenomenal job on many of these episodes, and there are so many typos, bro.
Just to go over the whole Shadowban thing, he's changed his review for that show how many times?
4?
4 times. The very first one, he even talked about how bad the Infinite Rabbit Hole was.
Well, we are pogs and government shills. I mean, give
That's
the guy some
true.
credit, you know?
Right. So my theory with Digital Assassin is that he listened to one episode, and I think that he listened to the Project Bluebeam episode where, you know, we're talking about a lot of government stuff, and us being Navy, we talk about that.
Mhm.
You know, yes, you know, we'll say we are military, U.S. military, and there are certain things that we can't talk about in an entertainment platform. And there's some things that we have to announce that we are part of the Navy or we're in the Navy and that our views do not align with the Navy's views. And we're not talking on behalf of the Navy. So if that's what he's talking about, dude, whatever, man.
I was just going to say, the thing that bothered me the most out of that review, the thing that stung the most, was being called a Navy POG, because I believe the acronym is People Other Than Grunts, as if being a mechanic or an electrician on a multi-million-dollar aircraft is such a terrible thing. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to get out and go make, you know, $50 an hour at a private company. Oh gosh. It's just
man.
it was really silly. It was like it was the only thing that actually got me out of that whole thing. I was like, that was dumb. But it was, yeah, I don't know. It was a silly guy.
The thing that gets me about this is that it's complaining about us not talking about things that he wants to hear on a show that doesn't talk about things he wants to hear.
Well, we got that recently too.
Well, we'll get into that here in a second. You did a great job, Digital. I now want to leave, you know, the job that I love so much, where I get to fix multi-million-dollar aircraft or multi-million-dollar fighting war machines, and I'll go do what you do and move into my mom's basement and troll everybody.
Literally, if you, I just gotta say this: if you look up that name and look up the word reviews, he just leaves 1-star reviews on everything, including like mobile games, Uber drivers, you name it. Troll.
Yeah.
Sounds like a very happy person. I wish him the best.
Thanks for nothing, dude. Anyways, our second complaint comes from Samantha, who used to be a member of our group page on Facebook.
That was hilarious.
I can't view what was originally said, but it went something like this. I thought this podcast was about actual rabbit holes, but all I see is the History Channel or something like that. I don't remember exactly how it went, but I know it had actual real rabbit holes and History Channel.
She said that she had a talk with somebody who really was in the know and had real information.
And she was telling Jake and I to shut up.
That was funny,
that
dude.
was great.
I just, I'm lost for comments on. I mean, it was definitely cool to see the community like come together. It's unfortunate that it was just such a negative comment, and it was just like it's one of those things where it's if you don't like the show, you don't like what we're talking about, we're sharing Bigfoot stuff and everything, just leave. Like you don't have to
Yeah,
come on and say like this is stupid, and I thought this was about real rabbit holes and everything, and it's just like there's no need, just go.
Yeah,
It's
I just chalk it up to people are just vindictive and toxic. Like there's really no
She was
point
bored.
other like trying to explain that to people. Like I think the biggest waste of time is when I see comments online and people are trying to explain to someone else why they're being inappropriate and stuff. It's like some people just like to be crappy. It's just the way it
Right.
is. It's just like, and then you're just feeding the troll by being like, oh, you shouldn't do that and you shouldn't say that. You're just feeding that energy of them being more crappy because they're getting the reaction that they want, like a high school bully.
Well, let's get off the negative comments and onto the positive because it's getting close to Jeff's bedtime.
Okay. Anyways, I hope she finds
True love
good
somewhere
in her life. Yeah, I wish her the best, just not on our group. That's all. Anyways, my only comments for this is the same as I can say for anybody who has left a negative comment since the beginning of the show. We are very honest about what we cover. Mysteries of the world. Simple as that. We don't try to trick anyone. We don't claim to have answers to things that nobody in the world has answers to. We bring our points of view, comments, and research into topics. That's it. As the last part of today's episode, let's end it on a high note and go over our good reviews and give a few shoutouts to those who took the time to give us some love. Our only comment comes from my mom. Hi, Mom. Who
Hi,
says
Mom.
Bigfoot is real. They are just too smart to deal with us humans. I agree. And then let's get into the reviews. Good job, Mom. Thank you. The first review comes from our friend Danny. Danny!
Hey.
Who left different reviews on a few different platforms, so I chose the one from our website, infiniterabbithole.com, to read tonight. Danny says, so I've only been listening to podcasts for about 5 months now, and I got hooked onto this one. What did I like about it? Everything. Well researched, tons of details, cool special guests, off-the-wall humor, and a lot of amazing stuff. It's been a blessing to listen to. A lot of laughter, some really amazing subjects, and it's taught me stuff I never knew about cryptids, UFOs, and so many amazing cases I had only heard of, but knew nothing about. The research, the topics, the details, and the information provided, top notch. If you want an awesome podcast, I would recommend this without hesitation. I've rated every episode 5 stars on podchaser.com. It's all that good. Thank you to everyone for doing what you do on that podcast. That's it.
Good
Thank
job,
you, Dan, for
Danny.
this, and thank you for all your other reviews as well. This is just the one I chose, but thanks, Danny. I really appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. That's awesome.
Good job, Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
You're welcome.
The second review comes from iTunes and is written by a listener by the username of Easy Forecasting Tool. They say, I enjoy these podcasts as they are well thought out and researched topics. The presenters all approach the various topics from different perspectives, which ensures a lively conversation and knowledgeable presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that.
Good job.
Good job.
You're welcome.
The third review comes from podchaser.com and is written by the username Nyack817. Nyack says, great mix of topics covered in excellent detail. Listen once or twice and you're hooked. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it. That's awesome.
Good job.
The fourth review comes from our good friend Grayson.
Grayson.
Who has also... Grayson!
know that guy.
And
We know that guy.
It's a cool guy.
Grayson, who has left reviews on a few different platforms. I chose the one that he left on our website for today. Grayson says, been listening since they started, and it's been nice to see/hear them grow. Episodes are packed with well-researched information. They touch on numerous topics, which keeps the show interesting and fresh. Good balance of serious discussion and humor. If you're interested in the weird, strange, and unknown, I would recommend IRH. Thanks, Grayson. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, dude.
good job.
He's just going to say good
Thanks.
job at everything.
You're welcome.
Our last review comes from another good friend of ours, CJ from podchaser.com.
Now that guy.
CJ. Yeah, it's that CJ, by the way.
Yeah.
If cryptids and the supernatural with a hint of conspiracy and a dash of humor is a recipe for a great podcast, you found the perfect ingredient ratios with this show. Thanks, CJ. We miss you, bud.
Good job, CJ.
Just silence. Thanks, CJ. Appreciate it.
There were a few others that were very short, 1 to 4 word reviews, but just as important, and we are just as thankful for those as well. So before we close this part of the episode, I would like to say thank you to AKB27, Nomad2103, Tart Art, and Bilbo Baggins for their reviews for the show. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Or girls. Or both. I don't know. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
That's pretty much it. Thank you all that have taken the time to listen to our show, no matter what episode you listened to and when it was. As a reminder, the first episode of Season 5 will debut on Friday, March 25th, and on that day, there will be a few episodes removed from our catalog as we build our vault with episodes that no longer meet our standards, out-of-date information, and poorly performing topics. We do plan on making these episodes available sometime in the near future, somehow, but haven't quite worked that out yet. Thank you to all the guests that we have had on the show this season. Yami from the Crypto Chat with Yami podcast, who joined us on our Bloop and Julia Sounds episode. Declassified Dave from the Hush Hush Society Conspiracy Hour podcast, who joined us on our coverage of the Rendlesham Forest incident parts 1 and 2. Carter Bushard, the author of both Sasquatch Down the Rabbit Hole of Strangeness and Sasquatch Evidence of an Enigma 2, who took us all on a wild ride into the world of the quantum side of Sasquatch. And Ashers from the On Wednesdays We Talk Weird podcast, who joined us on our 4-part season finale on Injured Cold. Next week, we will be reinventing our first ever episode, which was titled Let Us Introduce Ourselves and starred just Jake and myself, as we reintroduce ourselves to the world and go into the personal beliefs on various aspects and topics of the unknown and take a look into the upcoming season of The Infinite Rabbit Hole. Thank you once again for joining us in this episode. Make sure to come back to join us next week at the next path in the Infinite Rabbit Hole.
Bye.
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 See you guys.
Bye.
Good job.
Bye.
Thank you.